What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with yet another album review, and today I am talking about the latest offering from Paganizer, Flesh Requiem. This also came out on November 1st, this time on Transcending Obscurity Records, and well, I forget the total of albums we're up to now. If I were to hatch a guess, this is, I think, their 10th album overall. But yeah, of course, this is a Swedish death metal band. I briefly talked about their last album that came out in 2022 on Under the Radar, and I thought it was a really good offering there. I will go ahead and say I think this one is a little bit better than their last album. And of course, what's really cool, it's like, yeah, there's 12 tracks, but most of these songs are very compact and doesn't get boring. We kick things off with Life of Decay. Now, I'll save that for whenever we get into the overall synopsis. But it starts off with like nasty blast beats and tremolo riffs that just scream old school death metal. I would say particularly bands like Morbid Angel. But it does turn into more of a thrashed song because there's some more like thrashy rhythms and maybe even some machine gun riffs. But it does turn really groovy and melodic, almost like a melodic death metal song. And then it turns punky, like classic Swedish death metal does. And then we get into the song Meat Factory, which I would say, so Meat Factory, the title track, Fare Thee Well, Burn in Hell, and the Pyroclastic Excursions all start with a tremolo melody, which kind of gives a feeling of formulaicness, if that's even a word, to the album. But in Meat Factory, after that melody, goes straight into thrash, blasts and tremolos galore, which really almost every song except for one has blast beats and tremolo riffs, but they're nicely done. They're nasty, they're raw, they're gritty, and they're awesome. Gritty bass line showing up on Meat Factory, and then, of course, groove is also another thing that's really shown a lot on the album. Like, there's some really nice groove, but some harmony in the... excuse me. More harmony on the guitar. Wow, my voice suddenly got better after that, so I guess something was stuck on my throat. But anyways, then the title track, what's different about the tremolo melody here is that it's on top of a doom groove. And then it turns into pretty much a flat-out Swedish death metal punk song, like it's D-beats. Though there are some somber melodies that come up, but there's also a really tasty drum fill, like whoever the drummer is, Holy Bologna. Hunger for Meat. This one kind of reminds me of Blood Red Throne. Like the grooves and the riffs kind of give me a Blood Red Throne or maybe even a Cannibal Corpse vibe. Like it's a little more brutal sounding, but there's still some tinge of melody in there. And then you get into Viking Supremacy, which I think was the shortest track of the album. It was like maybe a little over 2 minutes, but it is a nice blasty, tremolo, punk-heavy 2 minutes. Super energetic. This song actually, not only with the title, but in the music, kind of reminded me a little bit of Unleashed, which Unleashed definitely like to play like punky death metal with Viking lyrics. Now, my favorite track of the album, World Scythe, this one, while you get tremolo melodies, this song with the riffs and the melodies reminds me more of Judas Priest. Like, this song is almost a borderline melodic death metal song, and this is also the first song on the album where there's leads. Granted, they're more like lead melodies, but they're really tasteful, really well executed, and I thought this was a nice little change of pace on here. Then Fare Thee Well, Burn in Hell. Like I said, it's basically tremolo melodies, blast, thrash, and groove. Necromonolithic, which I think might be a pick for song title of the year. This one kind of gets a little bit more in the bolt thrower realm. Like some of the riffs definitely get into some bolt thrower territory. It's got some doom groove to it and darker melodies. The Pyroclastic Excursions, yeah, definitely with the tremolo melodies, but also the bass and the groove. brings us back a little bit to the Blood Red Throne feel, but then it turns punky again with some D beats. There's some more lead melodies and blasts. Just another Doomsday, maybe the thrashiest song on the album, even though he definitely got thrash parts. But this song definitely goes for more of a thrash vibe. Like, sure, you get tremolo melodies, or not tremolo melodies, but nasty tremolo riffs. There's more machine gun riffs going on here, and some nice, like, even classic metal gallops and more lead melodies. Suffer Again. This one, in terms of melody, maybe next to World Scythe for the most melodic song on the album, because it's harmonized, the tremolos, punky, and there's even some like Edge of Sanity melodies, which makes sense considering Roga Johansson, the frontman and guitarist, did do vocals on Edge of Sanity's Crimson 2, and it would make sense that he would incorporate a little bit of that influence in terms of melody on this track. And then the closer, Skeletons, which was the longest track of the album, but it was only like 4 minutes. This one's definite bull thrower elements, like double time, D beats, groove, melody, lead melodies. Overall, it was actually a really cool way to end this album. Now, yeah, there wasn't like a whole lot of wide range on this album. Like I said, this album does get formulaic really fast. Like I said, like pretty much almost every song except for Skeletons all has blast beats and or tremolo riffs, which nothing wrong with those. I love those, but it just felt like they were just kind of rehashing moments on here, and it just didn't feel like they diversified enough on this album. Granted, once you get towards the back half, they start to get a little bit different, like World Scythe, Necromonolithic, Suffer Again, and Skeletons, like definitely getting more melodic as opposed to like just straight up nastiness. But again, it's like a lot of these songs kind of go for a formula, like tremolos, thrash riffs, blast beats, groove, lead melody if you're lucky. So yeah, it's just the problem I have with this album. While the songs are good, it's very formulaic, and you can definitely tell that like after the first 2 or 3 songs. So overall, I have to knock it for that. I am going to give this a 3 out of 5. It's still pretty damn good, but that formula does get old pretty quickly. Granted, the album itself is good and the songs are good, but the formula could be tweaked a little bit. But of course, those are just my opinions. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thank you for watching. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet.
Thank you for your patronage.